Hello everyone, welcome back to Madridista Notes. Lots to talk about today. There are lots of information going around on social media on Real Madrid, Benzema, Ancelotti, Mbappe, etc., etc., etc. But at first, we should start from Kylian Mbappe. After the World Cup final against Argentina, no one is really in any kind of confusion or in two minds about the kind of influence Kylian Mbappe can have in a team where there are already other world class players playing, but still he can have the kind of influence, the X factor, the superstar kind of influence. We see those influence diminishing day by day. Still, there are some players who still can be the player who makes that difference single handedly, and he did it against Argentina, but football is a team game. He did his part to the fullest, he did his best, he did everything that was possible, but still, if you are rowing one way and the other 10 players are rowing the other way, I wouldn't really. The result is pretty clear. So let's not really talk about that much. And since the last summer, the Mbappe saga, how it ended with Real Madrid, most Real Madrid fans turned on Kylian Mbappe, and we are still, I think, if you ask, a lot of the fan base will say, um, let's not go for him again. But that's not how our board thinks. That's not how Florentino Perez thinks. Once he is snubbed, he goes for it again and again. That's what makes him so successful as a businessman, and I guess that's what made him one of the two most successful president in Real Madrid history after, of course, um, Don Santiago Bernabeu. So Florentino Perez has an obsession. He had an obsession with Neymar. His new obsession's name is, I guess, Kylian Mbappe, because even after that humiliating saga where he totally went back on his word and stringed Real Madrid all through the mud, totally for the last 3 years, I would say, flirting and that comics he the comics of Kylian Mbappe where we saw how much he idealized Cristiano and his dream of becoming a Real Madrid player, blah blah blah. And when he went back on his word and totally, I don't know, it totally felt like the relationship was totally broken. But we saw that even after how the fan base reacted, the management or the Florentino Perez or media, whom I would say Florentino Perez has a really deep influence in some of the Spanish media outlets, and we saw Mario Portegana still talking really not that harshly, and from the kind of feeling, the kind of atmosphere around the management and Florentino Perez, it was like the door is not closed. So the reports are now coming out that Florentino Perez wanted it to cool down. He didn't want any kind of harsh rhetorics coming out of Real Madrid, and he wanted the saga, as the saga ended, he wanted it to cool down. So in future, if the opportunity arises, he can go for Mbappe once more. But him or Real Madrid board or the management or their puppet media never really cleared up if it's the end of the Mbappe saga. It was like hush hush, like the fan base was enraged. They never want to hear anything about Mbappe. Like it was a taboo word, the Mbappe word. The um, Mbappe host millions of I don't know followers in all over social media, and he's I think he's the kind of sponsorships that he gets because I think the Real Madrid fan base gave him huge media, huge social media presence because the PSG fan base or the French fan base, I wouldn't say it amounts to that much. The worldwide media, Real Madrid fan base, the kind of exposure we gave to Kylian Mbappe was massive. So I think that exposure, the kind of star quality of Kylian Mbappe, even without playing for Real Madrid, he was considered a player of Real Madrid. It was like if you heard Real Madrid fans talking, you would think that we sent him on loan to PSG, but it wasn't the case. It was like we were just waiting for Mbappe to turn up one day. And when it didn't happen, we felt like he betrayed us. But the businessmen, they never think about it like that. And so Florentino Perez never really closed the door. And after the kind of campaign Mbappe again has had in the World Cup, he again showed what kind of player he is. He can drag a team through the mud. In the final, most of the French team did shit, really. They did nothing of any importance. And where whichever chance was created, and the penalties, Mbappe took it emphatically. And lots of people will say, yeah, two of them were penalties. Yeah, you go and score penalties in a final. You'll see how the nerves are, and you understand. Only really great players can really control their nerves in a World Cup final and take three penalties, including the penalty shootout, and score all three of them. And when the goalkeeper is someone who is well known as a good shot stopper, he is good at stopping the penalties. We have seen it in the when Argentina won the what is it called Copa America. We saw it against Netherlands in this World Cup, and we saw it against France in the final too. So he scored three out of three penalties. That in itself is a really predicament that he kept his nerve till the last minute. So the report that is coming out of Relevo, Spanish outlet Relevo, is that the kind of player that Kylian Mbappe is, it would be a disservice to Real Madrid if we close the door to a player like Kylian Mbappe. So they're saying that the notion, the voices that coming out of Vélez de Bas, the Real Madrid management space, is that we cannot close the door on Kylian Mbappe. The club is above all, and so they will, if the opportunity arises in future, they will again go for Kylian Mbappe. So whoever thought that after this summer window, last summer window, this Mbappe saga, this super tiring, annoying saga ended, you were in for a big, big surprise. It will keep extending until Florentino Perez gets his way. I think he will try for Mbappe again in the next 2, 3 years. When will it be? Your guess is as good as mine, but you can be sure of that Real Madrid and Florentino Perez will go for Kylian Mbappe again. Unless Kylian Mbappe moves to a club like Barcelona and he says it in public that he wants to move to Barcelona or something like that. Otherwise, yeah, like we are trying really hard, even when there is huge competition, like the flavor of the not flavor of the month, but um, Jude Bellingham. Even though the reports are coming out that he prefers a move to England, either Liverpool or Manchester City, Real Madrid are insisting that they will try till the end for Jude Bellingham. So yeah, in the Mbappe case, I think we will go for him, but I don't know how they are going to manage the wage structure if they sign him because the amount of what he is earning at PSG is astronomical. I don't have any idea how you can sustain that kind of wage because after you sign him, the players like Vinicius Junior, Fede Valverde, Rodrigo, in future maybe Endrick, maybe in future Jude Bellingham if he signs for us. The player who will bring things on the table, it won't be a one-man show like Kylian Mbappe. They will of course contribute, and when they will be contributing at a similar level to Mbappe, they will see what kind of wages are Mbappe earning, and I think it will destabilize the dressing room a little bit. The thing that I wasn't really sure about Mbappe is because of his huge ego. I understand his ego, but I don't know. He's nowhere player close to a player of the caliber of Cristiano Ronaldo or Lionel Messi. He is a really lethal finisher and he can impact a game in the final third, but his overall impact on the pitch isn't even half of what Cristiano Ronaldo did or Messi did during their prime years. They were just monsters. So the kind of wages we'll have to give Mbappe, I just shudder to think about it. I don't know if it's a good idea to really go that far with this signing. We'll have to see what the management decides. If they think it will be cost effective, they will go for it, and they are the businessmen. They're the president, they're the board. That's why they are the people running the club and not fans like us. So we'll have to just trust their judgment. And next bit of news is Gvardiol, Fabrizio Romano. According to Fabrizio Romano, Real Madrid likes Josko Gvardiol. We have been monitoring him. We have sent scouts multiple times to monitor Josko Gvardiol, and it could be signing for the summer. As I have previously mentioned, that I wouldn't mind this signing one bit, even though we have Militao, we have Rudiger, we have Alaba. I think Alaba, even though he has slid totally after the departure of Sergio Ramos, the way he has plugged that gap, we cannot really plug the gap of how Sergio Ramos was for us, but um, Alaba did a good enough job that it wasn't a disastrous of how it was after Cristiano left. So, um, what I am trying to say is Alaba, Militao, or Rudiger, I wouldn't say any of them are like Sergio Ramos. They are great defenders, and Alaba can play multiple positions. So when you have the chance to sign a player of the caliber of Gvardiol, um, whom I think is one of the top prospects in the field of center halves for the next decade. Um, I really like him alongside Konate from Liverpool, Saliba from Arsenal. I really like him. So if we can have him and groom him as someone who will take over from maybe Alaba, Rudiger, and compete, mainly compete. We still don't have a substitute for Mendy. We are hearing reports Mendy might be sold. So Alaba might be moved to the left back position. We don't know that. So we will need a really capable center back there, third center back, to fight with Militao or Rudiger. And I think it's a really great idea. I really, really like how he is as a defender. He is comfortable with the ball at his feet. He is a strong, strong defender. He has enough talent to succeed at Real Madrid, and I think he has the characteristics too. He has the mentality, and he is a poet. We have a poet in our team right now, and we have never regretted signing that poet. He is a legend of Real Madrid, and I think as long as Modric is here, if we bring in Gvardiol, he will have an easier time um, slotting in. He will have an easier time to get used to it. Changing the environment from Germany to Spain shouldn't be that much difficult. It's Europe anyway. But still, he will be able to settle in well, better, as long as Modric is still in Real Madrid. And I hope Modric plays for a couple more years in Real Madrid and eventually retires in Real Madrid at Real Madrid. So I'm all for the signing of Gavardio. He is a signing that excites me. He is an exciting signing. Uh, and while we are on the page discussing about signings, a report has come out from Spanish outlet Relevo that Ancelotti has requested for a reinforcement in the striking position, but the board has said no. The response was negative, and that's what I hate the most when the board vetoes the desire of the coach. He understands what we are lacking. We have lacked a capable deputy for Benzema for a long time now. Mariano and the other guy, Jovic, were massive flops, and Ancelotti had to work with those players. And still, after Benzema's injury, he had to shuffle Rodrigo, Mariano, and everything. But he doesn't have a solution. And if your manager who delivered you a double, a league title and a Champions League last season asks you for some reinforcement as he sees a hole in the team and he wants to plug that hole, you try your best to back your coach, your manager. But our management has always felt like they understand more about the squad than the manager. And so they have taken multiple disastrous decisions in squad management, squad building before, and they're still doing it. And when Ancelotti isn't able to deliver the silverwares, they will totally blame it on Ancelotti. They will do a media campaign against him, and then they will sack him. That's it. That's how they take care of things. They make shitty judgments on squad building, and then they totally blame it on the managers and then sack them. So that's what I have to say on that issue totally. You just somehow getting Cristiano for 6 months, maybe, give him a squad role. You were saying that he won't agree to it. Did you ask him? Maybe sign him for 6 months um, with a 12-month extension. Like, if some conditions are made, you will give him an extra year. Make a deal with Cristiano. I don't think he has much options right now, and he would be happily be playing as a squad player, um, having the competition with Benzema and stuff like that, and having a experienced legend like Cristiano in the team is something you can't put a price on. But what do I know? We will see. Benzema. He has retired from the French national team. We have had reports coming out. The Benzema camp is slowly leaking it out because it's the right time to leak it out. He has retired from the national team. We are seeing reports that Benzema's injury was nothing major. It was a minor injury. He could have even played from the even in the last match, third match of the group stages. And even if you don't play him in the group stages, you could have used a Ballon d'Or player who has won the Ballon d'Or, who has basically spearheaded and dragged this Real Madrid's attack through the La Liga and the Champions League campaign last season. You could have used him in the knockout stages. You could have used him against Argentina. You didn't need to bring in a player like Polo Muani who missed a one-on-one in the 120th minute or something. You could have won the match within 120 minutes. No need to go to the penalties because everyone who was watching the match, everyone knows Hugo Lloris is shit in shots, in penalties. And Emilio Martinez is really good. So even before the penalties begin, I think people who like to bet, they bet on Argentina to win the penalties, and it was as predicted. Argentina won. So you got what you deserve. You don't respect a legend of the game like Karim Benzema. What do you expect? The reports are coming out that they didn't want him in the camp. They sent him away, even though after Karim Benzema wanted to stay, they didn't want him around. Some players didn't want the presence of Karim Benzema. So yeah, good for you. You lost the final. Nice, bravo. You played yourself. Good. Have fun with the silver medal. You could have won it. But whatever. And he is totally fit. Of course, Benzema is totally fit. He will be fit for the match in La Liga on 30th of December against the Valladolid. The players, Spanish players, Carvajal and Asensio are joining the training tomorrow. The Brazilians, Militao, Vinicius, and Rodrigo will join on 26th of December, and the players who played till the last match day, Chouameni, Kamavinga, and Modric, they will join training on 28th of December. So that's the schedule for the return of the players, and that's most of the Real Madrid news for the day. Thank you for watching. Hopefully, you enjoyed it. Have a nice day. And if you have enjoyed it, kindly like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.